I simply cannot get up. I just cannot. It feels like I'm completely broken inside, and I just cannot get up anymore. I had a 15-year marriage and I have 3 daughters from that marriage. After everything that happened, I still feel shattered to this day. I asked for a divorce several times. This relationship was already very abusive. It was already very difficult. I was prevented from studying. He stopped me from, for example, I lost a university scholarship, and with every manager, he suspected I was involved with them. In the end, I asked for a divorce. I couldn't take it anymore. I realized during the course I took that I was being deceived and strung along for years, and I was never going to achieve the things I wanted, but I did achieve something, right? I got rid of that little pouch, got a breast augmentation, had I basically gave my whole body a makeover. In the end, I asked for a divorce and he took my post-surgery photos. He exposed me, exposed my body in the post-surgery photos I had taken to show the doctor. And it was the most difficult challenge I've ever faced. It was something I never could have possibly expected. At first, people really support you. But then they start asking, but what did you do for him to do that to you, right? He broke my wrist. Look, my wrist is crooked. He fractured one of my ribs and exposed my photos. And I would have preferred to have broken both my wrists than to have seen my body exposed on the social media of the company where I worked. It's been 3 years now, and I still can't recover. I can't get back up. I just can't. It feels like I'm broken inside. I can't get back up. Recently, I had a boyfriend. We dated for 5 months, and his behavior was extremely similar. He loved me too much and started giving me everything and saying, I'm going to rebuild your life. And I was always walking on eggshells, precisely because I still haven't recovered from what I went through with my ex-husband. But I was trying, right? I was trying. I broke up once, we got back together. I broke up twice, we got back together. The 3rd time I broke up, I started to get scared. I said, guys, what do I do to get out of this, right? And recently, he started passing by my house constantly, stalking me, coming by here in the middle of the night. And up until then, I said, guys, do I really need to worry, right? It can't be that I actually have to worry about this. And I talked to a friend who's a police officer, and he said, look, so far it doesn't seem concerning to me, but he will intervene. He will keep insisting with you. And he started demanding, wow, I did everything for you. I helped you move. I supported you financially. He would demand on every possible emotional and financial level you can imagine. I blocked him on WhatsApp on 2 different numbers. And he found me on Telegram. That day, he drove past my house so many times it scared me. He was stalking me. I asked a friend to stay over. In the night, he woke me up by shaking my foot. I was home with my daughters when he started banging on the door. He tried to jump the gate, so I pointed the gun and told him to get down. I said, why didn't you arrest him? He said, because he's going to stop. Now he saw that you have protection. I said, my God, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe it. I had to go to the women's police station and requested a restraining order. Just recently, I decided to download a new mobile dating application. I'm trying to update myself, modernize, accept the current way of dating, right? Even though I'm almost 40. And he tracked me down on that app, sent me a quick little message through it, even fully aware of the restraining order. He sent a DM. He thought I was reciprocating. I'm being followed again. This has been going on for 3 months. I don't know what to do with my heart anymore in this kind of situation. And I can't pick myself up. I can't get back on my feet. I can't.
Let me tell you a few things, my friend, because we're going to do an analysis here, okay? I believe you've had very few relationships in your life, very few. When we have only a few relationships in our life, we simply don't have enough data to really measure whether the problem is with us or not. Look, within those few relationships, maybe you've had 2 or 3, and this has happened to you twice. But that's not enough for you to say that you have bad luck in love. It's different from a woman who says, wow, I've had 50 boyfriends chased after me, damn. Then there's a problem. So what is a really important part of this whole process? First of all, you truly need to absolve yourself of any blame. And stop thinking that the problem might be with you personally, because maybe you were just incredibly unlucky. And yes, it really could be just bad luck that out of your few relationships, 2 of them, one turned out to be quite abusive and the other possibly a mild level psychopath, okay? I'm not stating this as a fact because I can't say for sure, but I know a lot of stories, and from what everything indicates, there's a good chance that your last relationship was indeed like that. But let's move on. There is a completely different underlying issue here that was concealed beneath the surface, and in fact, it was a problem that already existed. It did not actually originate at the moment when your photos were exposed. Your problem didn't start there. It already existed, but it was lying entirely dormant and unnoticed. You weren't aware of it. Look, I truly understand the depth of your pain. Yes, I deeply understand your concern, and I fully empathize with your complex emotions. But the real reason why this situation took on such a massive proportion in your daily life is that there was already existing within you a profound need to be accepted and a desire to please others. Let me tell you something very important. You simply don't need to, and we absolutely do not rely on the constant support, the loud applause, and the understanding of society at large. Society, is really incredibly hard on women. It is really hard. It's always about what the woman did. The thing is, in our history, the blame has always been put on women ever since the damn apple that Eve ate. The woman was the one to blame. So we have to watch ourselves because the tendency is, what did she do? She's the one who attracts it. The problem was what she said. The problem was what she did. No, listen to me. Let me tell you, from the moment you heal your need to please others, every single bit of what has happened will disappear. You have truly survived this. You really did, without any external support. That's the most important thing to remember. In other words, you really do not require it at all. We don't need support. We just need to believe in ourselves. That's all. What do I want from you? That when you decide to go to college, you don't wait for anyone's support. That when you decide to move to another country, you don't wait for anyone's support. Whatever support comes is a welcome bonus, but we don't actually need external support to achieve something we truly want. Now, I am not trying to say it doesn't have value. It really does, but we can still get there. We can still grow in life, all of it. The most important thing is you're alive. Second, you have to understand he's a relentless pursuer, a dangerous stalker, and someone who is truly abusive and could very well have deep psychopathic tendencies. Okay, my friend? That is an absolute fact. Now, you must realize that the more cornered and trapped you feel, the more this kind of stalker feeds off of your fear. Why? Once he knows he no longer has your love and no longer has your respect, the only way he can reach you is through fear, through constant pressure, and through guilt. Look at everything I did for you. Or, you better stay with me so I don't become aggressive with you. That is the classic behavior of a stalker, and that is the sign of an abuser. So once he sees you strong, his source of nourishment dries up, his supply dries up. If he no longer has your love, if he doesn't have your respect, not even your fear, what does he have? Indifference. With indifference, he gets nothing. And it's like this, until the police actually lay their hands on him, right? Because there are guys who act all tough, real stalkers until the police show up. After that, bam, the person seems to change their vibe when he really feels that things are getting serious. That was a good talk. All right, gorgeous. Everything happened to you, and are you with or without support? It's over. And he set off for new experiences. You understand? Not all men are like that. No. Brigade. Gratitude.